My 24F husband, 23M, faked fainting after I gave birth. My husband and I have been together for 5 years. I want to start by saying that, despite his quirks, my husband is genuinely sweet and hardworking. I truly believe he loves me deeply, tries his best, and has always dreamed of being a husband and father. That's why this whole situation has left me confused and conflicted. We got pregnant a bit sooner than expected, though it wasn't entirely unplanned. In the first trimester I was lucky to avoid nausea, but the fatigue hit me hard, especially during my final university exams. I had to nap for 1-2 hours every afternoon just to function. At the time, we didn't know that this kind of exhaustion was a normal pregnancy symptom, and I was so focused on school that I didn't think much of it. Meanwhile, my husband quietly started resenting me. He thought I was being lazy because I wasn't keeping up with the housework, which, except for dishes, was mostly my responsibility. Thankfully, a friend asked if I'd been hit by the tiredness and explained that it's important I rest. He seemed to understand, but I guess it bugs me that faced with his wife being utterly exhausted, his first reaction was to think of me as lazy and be annoyed rather than concerned. Throughout the rest of my pregnancy, his attitude often felt off. He would get annoyed by what I thought were small requests, like bringing me water before bed, and complained about the size of my pregnancy pillow. While he always apologized later on if I let myself get sad about it, I felt like there was something he wasn't saying. Friends told me to enjoy the pregnancy pampering, but I didn't experience any of that. He treated me the same as before and seemed irritated when I couldn't keep up. Despite everything, I had a fairly easy pregnancy physically, and emotionally I responded very well to the crazy levels of estrogen, making me quite happy and hopeful. I stayed upbeat and tried to be as pleasant and positive as possible. During this time, he started getting really into these men's experiences during pregnancy podcasts and would vent about how no one considers what fathers go through, which I sympathized with. Then came the birth. After a long and sleepless labor, I needed an emergency C-section. I gave birth around midnight, and since partners couldn't stay overnight, he went home. I stayed awake with our newborn for a 4th night in a row. When he returned the next morning, he told me he had fainted on the way home, showing me how dirty his jacket was after falling. I was concerned, but I was so depleted I could barely process it. During our hospital stay, he brought food and held the baby while I slept, but his attitude still felt annoyed. I chalked it up to stress. Then came the newborn phase. Our son was colicky, I was exhausted, and we argued constantly. I couldn't be my usual sweet self, and I desperately needed emotional support. He, on the other hand, seemed to want sympathy too. At one point, it had been 5 days since the baby had a bath and he inquired of me annoyed. I didn't turn on my filter and said, "Why don't you give him a bath then?" He responded with that he didn't know how and was upset I told him to Google it. He felt overwhelmed working 3 to 4 hours a day and microwaving meals twice daily, so researching baby baths was apparently too much. I ended up taking our baby to all his appointments alone because my husband looked so irritated when tired that nurses started asking questions. I could say a lot more, but here's my main concern. Recently, we revisited the topic of my pregnancy and our son's birth. I told him I felt unsupported during that time. That's when he confessed that he lied about fainting after the birth so I would feel bad for him. He apparently only slipped on the ice. He felt ignored and unimportant during the pregnancy. Every time he talked to friends, they told him to focus on supporting me, and he started to feel invisible. While I understand the desire to feel seen, to lie about something like this when I truly needed support feels deeply hurtful. I explained that being a supportive partner is not meaningless, it's actually a vital, powerful role. He was remorseful, but I don't know if this is expecting too much from him. Things are better between us today, but honestly, I don't think I want him with me the next time I give birth. I feel like it would be easier to mentally prepare for doing it alone than to split my emotional focus between giving birth, the baby, and managing his feelings again. Too long did not read. My husband lied about fainting after I gave birth to our son. I feel unsupported, but I am scared I am putting too much pressure on him. How do we move forward from this? I don't think he tries his best, and I think you're giving him too much credit by claiming he is doing so. He's failing as a father and a husband, he knows this, and yet he does not even care to know how to clean his own child. The man you described in the first paragraph sounds like a fantasy you superimposed over this unsupportive, lying jackass. He's sweet and loves you deeply? Every single thing you told us in this post says otherwise. He's an uncaring twat, with zero empathy and zero concern for your well-being. I don't know why your standards are so low that you consider him a loving man, but you describe him as being outrageously selfish and unloving. Why would you elect to have another child with some this immature and unsupportive? I don't think I want him with me the next time I give birth. The next time? Read that again and again until you realize having another baby is utter madness. I'm exhausted reading that and you want to go through it again? Girl, what is you doing? He tries his best? Girl, you have got an attention-seeking man-child who wanted to be a father until you got pregnant. After that all he did is complain. A typical example of someone wanting a baby but having zero clue as to what having a baby or a pregnant partner actually means. The worst thing is your entire post is that you are even thinking of having another child with him. I just can't understand. Please read through your post yourself again. Sounds like you're raising 2 babies. Mike, 29F, husband, 31M, is completely incompetent when it comes to celebrations. My husband and I have been together for almost 12 years, and I'm on the edge of asking for a separation. For any celebration, he has no idea what to do. He has completely dropped the ball on getting a gift, getting an appropriate gift, decorating, getting a cake, or anything to make me feel special. I graduated university, he did nothing. I got my master's, he did nothing. I got a doctorate, he did nada. For one birthday, his relative actually baked me a cake, but he was not necessarily a part of that. I started my first day of work, nothing. He is known for not celebrating anything. I sat him down multiple times and told him I expect him to celebrate my accomplishments the way I do his. Things I have done. Care packages for work, presents, cards for birthdays, anniversaries. I even told him a simple acknowledgement would be sufficient, i.e. congrats on getting that award. Wow, it's your first day at a new job. How exciting. He keeps saying he doesn't realize he needs to do these things. What pisses me off is he is a major gamer. I see him in his computer looking up specific details and information about the games he plays. He knows all the niche information, and if he doesn't, he looks it up. I don't understand how he has the know-how to look up all this stuff about his games, but he can't look up how to properly celebrate a birthday or Mother's Day. I'm so fed up and I have no idea what to do. I did nothing for his 30th birthday because, honestly, I didn't want to. He had disappointed me so many years in a row that I just didn't want to do anything. He sulked all day playing video games with his friends, and I apologized later. But now, I just want to tell him celebrations of all kinds are off the table. It's just so upsetting that he doesn't know how to do so many things, but he can look up things for his games. I hate that I am constantly telling him to figure it out because it's the 21st century and Google exists. I'm worried that him messing up Mother's Day and my birthday, same day, is going to ruin our relationship forever. We just had our second baby, and I celebrated, cleaned, decorated and picked up a cake for his birthday when I was less than a week postpartum. What's the solution here? For people asking me if I'm being clear with my wishes, I am. I asked for a baby shower for both babies, I didn't get them. I asked for maternity pictures, and he never planned it. I had to do it myself. I'm extremely clear with what I want, and yet he drops the ball. Whenever he realizes he messed up, he immediately becomes self-depreciating and makes me feel bad that he messed up. Update. After talking with him, he knows that he is the problem and we are separating for a while. He is going to sign up for therapy and we will be going to therapy together since we have 2 small children. He's going to look for apartments in the morning. I want to be with someone who likes me. I want to be with someone who would move mountains for me. Thanks to everyone for responding. I needed the eye-opener. I say this with love. He's not incompetent. He just doesn't want to do it. It's literally that simple. No amount of arguing with him or trying to find a way to present your feelings is gonna work because he knows how you feel and doesn't care. He's not a toddler, he's not incapable, he's not just bad at it. He does not care. I eventually left my marriage for this similar reason. That and I asked my husband to plan dates other than going out to dinner and coming home to watch a movie. Years and years and couldn't freaking do it. I explained to him that I could see he could schedule a golf game with friends and going to play guitar with friends and think ahead to do those things over and over and over again, but me, I guess I wasn't a priority. There were other things too that made me realize that he just wasn't willing to do the work, so I finally left. He now says he was a fool. Honey, he knows he just doesn't give a flying fuck because he's gotten 12 years of care and attentiveness out of you for literally nothing. His nothing was good enough for you not to leave, so he didn't give a shit. I predict with my crystal ball that you're going to ask for the separation and then he'll immediately change, and if you cave and he will go right back to who he is. You're excusing his failure as a husband like he's stupid or incompetent or without any agency because it hurts too much to admit you love a man who doesn't love you back. I sat him down multiple times and told him I expect him to celebrate my accomplishments the way I do his. Opening square bracket ellipsis closing square bracket. I even told him a simple acknowledgement would be sufficient. He keeps saying he doesn't realize he needs to do these things. You're telling him, you've told him, he doesn't need to realize he needs to do these things. He just needs to care and to try. Does he struggle with other social cues? Honestly, show him this message. He sounds like a gaming loser. Not like a good man that's actively trying to be a good partner. He sounds lazy and like he's taking you for granted frankly. If he wanted to, he would. He doesn't care. But your last sentence is very, very concerning. He's blatantly manipulative, and you're starting to see that, right? In the moment, when he says something like, "I am the worst husband ever," say, "If that's how you feel, I would still like a birthday party." Maybe an individual counselor could help you learn to set and hold boundaries around his manipulative behavior. Boyfriend 23 male slept through my 22 female birthday. It's my 22 female birthday today and my boyfriend, 23 male, said he would come over at 7 to take me out to dinner. He already said that he wouldn't have time to get a gift or anything like that because of his finals and claimed he would plan something for us to do later. I told him that I really wanted a good day and that I didn't want him to make me upset. After his final he called me and said he wouldn't take a nap for a few hours and come over at 7 since I would be home then. However, it's already 8:30 and he didn't even bother to set an alarm. I called him multiple times but no reply. For his birthday I planned in advance what we would do. It makes me really upset that he couldn't bother to set an alarm and I have wasted at least an hour and a half on my birthday. Also, I had plans with friends and I left at 6 so that I could spend time with my boyfriend. Why would he do this? Too long did not read. Boyfriend was supposed to come over and take me to dinner but has slept through. It has already been an hour and a half and no response. Update: I broke it off but we both are so sad. I can't tell what to do. You said that you didn't want him to do anything to upset you, which sounds as if he does so pretty regularly. He's 23. Not buying a gift ahead of time or setting an alarm clock is not the behavior of a grown man who values his girlfriend. You'll get past the sad. Don't you even consider going back. If you do, it just tells him that he doesn't need to make an effort or even be polite because while you might get upset, you will come back. I broke it off but we both are so sad. I can't tell what to do. I see the issue is resolved. I'm sorry all this happened. Good luck healing. And I hope the next partner you find is a bit better. A great way for him to avoid being sad would have been to put a tiny bit of effort into doing the right thing. He didn't have time to get you a gift? Cop out. And also, you asked him not to upset you because it's your birthday? Clearly he upsets you all the time. Read your post as if a friend was telling you this and tell me what advice you would give her. I absolutely hate the "I didn't have time to get you a gift or plan anything" excuse, because there were 364 days since the last birthday. And Amazon delivers on at least 360 of them. It just reinforces how low on his priority list you are, and you're worth better than that. As soon as you excuse that excuse once, you set the precedent for them forever. The bar is in hell. BF M27 got angry that his day was ruined because I, M27, was sick. I, 27M, have been dating my boyfriend, 27M, for about 9 months. Yesterday, I had one of the worst migraines I've ever had. I was vomiting and was in a lot of pain. He was sweet at first and took care of me, but as the day went on, he started getting frustrated because our plans were ruined. He said things like, "What a shitty day," and stormed around. At one point, he tried to get me to cuddle him while I was still lying in bed in pain, and when I pulled away, he got really angry, called me a asshole, in my language, for not being nice to him, slammed the door so hard I thought it would break, and said I gave him false hope that I'd feel better. The migraine got better on one side but moved to the other side and became worse again. He stormed back in the room and told me he doesn't accept that angry look on my face. At this point I was just scared of him and hoped he would leave my house, but he didn't. He also said I should have told him sooner that it wasn't going to work out today, so he wouldn't have to cancel on his parents. I was afraid he would do this the whole day already, and it happened indeed. He later apologized and said he's just bad at handling frustration, but I can't shake the feeling that this wasn't okay. I also know from past situations that he might later say that because he took care of me, he couldn't do his homework, and make me feel guilty for it and then say, "Oh, but it's not your fault," and frame it like I should be more appreciative of what he did to take care of me. I'm starting to feel like I'm walking on eggshells when he gets upset. I really love him and 90% of the time we get along great, except when unexpected things happen like this. He always apologizes after these incidents, but I know it will happen again. Too long did not read. Boyfriend cared for me while I was very sick but later blew up at me for ruining his day and called me names. Now I feel guilty and unsure if this is normal frustration or abusive behavior. How can I discuss this with him? You say it's good 90% of the time. If I handed you a hamburger and told you it was 90% beef and 10% dog shit, would you eat it? Yeah, sure, we all have little issues, but this isn't little. He's being an inconsiderate, selfish asshole. An apology is great, but when he just keeps doing the same thing, why do you accept it? He always apologizes after these incidents, but I know it will happen again. So this isn't the first incident. You've only been dating for 9 months, and he's been verbally abusive multiple times. He blamed you for things that aren't your fault. You're afraid of him. You insinuate he was trying to initiate cuddling, sex while you were sick, and he blew up when you turned him down. This kind of behavior will only escalate. And forget that 90% of the time it's a great thing. That's like saying, well, he only beats me on Tuesdays. Dump him. Behavior like this rarely gets better, but worse as he gets more comfortable. Do you want to live the rest of your life flinching every time something inconvenient happens? Or feeling like you can't speak up when you want to voice your own experiences? He is not safe. Don't let him back in. You're better by yourself than this awe. This is no way to live. He doesn't seem like someone who's safe to be with long term. It's abusive. All the stuff you describe is abuse. At best it's a sign that as things progress, if you were to get seriously ill, he'd leave you. Look up how nurses are trained to comfort female patients who are married or partnered and counsel them about the very high probability of their husbands leaving. Anyway, is this how you want to be treated every time you're sick? If not, break up with him. If you already live together for whatever reason, that's a red flag and he's letting his mask slip. He's 100,000% going to abuse you. Abusers like to move quickly and make major milestones happen ASAP, so you don't realize how shitty they are until it's too late. Run.